The topic for this session is worship. Worship is the thing, the issue that must be taken seriously in this country and throughout Africa. Worship has become a cause for our country, a cause on Africa, because the only thing going on in Africa is worship. People are no longer doing. People are no longer doers. People are no longer reasoning. People are no longer seeing and hearing. People no longer know. People are no longer honoring. People are no longer super. People are not superhuman anymore. People are not super person anymore. People are not in the omni present, in the omni moment. People don't even know what this means. People are worshippers. A worshipper is someone who is self-reduced and self-demoted. You have already become self-demoted. You have already accepted the self-demotion as your destiny. You are self-demoted because a worshipper does not have anybody worshiping him. A worshipper does not have anybody looking up to him. He is worshiping and worshiping and worshiping. Unfortunately, the thing he worships, the thing the worshipper worships, is even mysterious. To him, the thing the worshipper follows and obeys is even a secret to him. He is just worshiping, worshiping and worshiping and worshiping, being guided by people because worship is a state of hypnotism, a state of hypnotic trance. Because if you are in a state of trance, you are hypnotized, terribly hypnotized. And the brain that controls this hypnotic state is the the spinal cord memory brainology, the spinal cord memory brainology, the spinal cord isolation brainology, the spinal cord dementia brainology, or the spinal cord amnesia brainology. It's about the past. It's about memory. It's about familiarity, mere familiarity, common sense familiarity, common sense reasoning, common sense judging, common sense assessment, common sense evaluation. That is what you are doing when you are a worshiper. You are dealing with common sense, the common sense doing and speaking and thinking of the spinal cord, human brain, or human mind brainology, because you are lost, because you are gone. Worship is a terrible thing. I don't know why Nigerians love to call themselves worshippers, like calling themselves sinners, like calling themselves evildoers. People call themselves sinners. They call themselves worshippers. A worshipper is a person without anything, a person that is common in every way, common sense reasoning, common sense worship, common sense prayer, common sense thinking, common sense action, and everything. Common sense has to do with habit. Common sense has to do with belief. Common sense has to do with faith. Common sense has to do with recollection, with remembering. Common sense has to do with everything common, everything hypnotic, everything that is induced. The common sense reasoner is just like a person, just like a vehicle, just like a car being driven. The man driving the car is the person in control of the car. That is how you are. A worshipper has a controller, has somebody ruling his brain, somebody controlling him. If he says go to the right, you go. If he says go to the left, you go. If he says stop, you stop. That is what you have. That's why they all have pastors for everything. Say, my pastor said this. My pastor said you are no longer a human being because you are a worshipper. You have become a worshipper of something you don't know. They tell you that you're worshiping a god, you're worshiping a deity, you're worshiping something. Anything they tell you to worship, you worship. Anything, there's nothing you don't see in the worship field, in the worship industry, is there. And Nigerians are competing right now. Everybody wants to be a pastor. Everybody is competing to be a pastor because that is where the money is going. Anybody, once you have hypnotized somebody, he pays you tithe, he says, you pay tithe, give it. So they do all those things, give you tithe and everything. So you become a worshiper. And the worshiper does not have volition. He does not have control. He has nothing. He just worshiping, 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 worshiping. Worshipper. A worshiper is something terrible. Look it up in the dictionary. You see that some people worship so much that they don't even have the power to call the thing they are worshiping to order or to account. Because the thing you are worshiping You are giving so much time, so much energy to worship something. They have told you that the thing you are worshiping moves mountains. It moves everything. But when a small thing happens and you don't have a job, you don't have anything, you are praying. The thing doesn't work. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, it doesn't work. And when you ask questions, you say you don't have faith. And because you have been told you don't have faith, you feel guilty. From the noise making you are making, from the noise making you are doing, noise making, noise which is evil, noise which is a cause, noise which is terrible, all the noise going on, they tell you now that you have no faith. And you believe it because the person telling you have no faith is the person that is to hypnotize you, the person ruling you, the person governing you, then you accept. And as you accept, you go on that way and feel guilty. From that guilt, you become a sinner. Call yourself a sinner because you feel that I cannot have my prayer answered. My prayer is not being answered. And of course it cannot be answered because you are just praying, you're just doing common sense praying, common sense reasoning, common sense conceiving, common sense concept, common sense idea, common sense image. That's what you are doing. And you are just living in a world of symbolism. You are just moving on and on and on, absolutely confused because the thing you are worshiping is not known to you. The thing you are worshiping is a mystery. It's a secret to you. You are just a religious person. You are just a person acting on mystical principle. You are just a mystical person. You are just a religious person. Mysticism is about mystery. Mystery is ignorance. Mystery is darkness. Mystery cannot lead you to anything. But if you are dealing with clarity and lucidity, that's better. If you are dealing with brightness, everything is bright, everything is brilliant, everything is so fine, that's okay. But if you are dealing with mystery, you are in darkness. You are in the valley. You are in the shadow world. Everything is shadow. Everything is limited. Everything is limitation. That's what happens. So a worshiper must change because the time and space, the words of time and space came to an end in 2012. Please look it up on the internet. Time and space ended in 2012. The so-called Big Bang universe ended in 2012. The world of the human mind, the worlds of the human mind, the worlds in which you are not, you can't rise above the intellect. You are just academic, merely intellectual, merely mental, merely material, merely spiritual. You are not divine. You are not natural. You are not valued. You are not a person who can be in stillness, who can go into silence, into the beautiful places of the divine within you. Those beautiful places are within you. To access them, you must go inside. You must go inner, inmost, and upward to access them. So don't be a worshiper because the time has come for you to wake up, for you to rise up, for you to free yourself from your hypnotism, for you to free yourself from this place where you have been kept, where you have been pressed down, where you just have to give money, do this, do that, and get nothing in return, where you have to doubt yourself, where you have to be self-reduced, self-demoted, self-falling, and all that. So worship is not what we want for you. You are my brother, you are Nigerian, you are an African. We want you to be a doer, a great doer, dealing with the not the common sense, not the common conscience, but with the super conscience, with the uncommon conscience, with the omni conscience, omni this, omni that, super this, super that, and uncommon this and uncommon that. That's how you become a doer. That's how you become a giant. That's how you become a king, a great one that can do things. But if you remain a giant, if you remain a worshiper, you cannot be a giant. You cannot be a nation builder. You cannot create anything. You cannot be transform anything. You are just living in self rejection, self demotion, and all that. This is thing for you. This is what you have to hear. Thank you very much for listening.